For my spicy lovers, y'all gonna love this one. So it's some bacon jalapeno mac and cheese. Not too spicy, but a whole bunch of flavor. And my challenge to you is to only have one serving of this. But anyway, let's get started with the recipe. So we're gonna take our extra sharp cheddar, our Monterey Jack, and some Colby cheese, and we're gonna grate this up. So these are each half a block, all right? Anytime you're gonna make some mac and cheese, always get fresh blocks of cheese, because it's gonna help make the cheese melt a lot better as opposed to the pre-shredded stuff. Like, just trust me on that. All right, so we're gonna grate that on down. Now here's a quick hack. So instead of using water to boil your noodles, we're gonna use some chicken stock. All right, so I got some reduced sodium chicken stock. Go ahead and bring that to a boil. And get a pound of some large macaroni elbow noodles. And we're gonna add a little bit of chicken bouillon, so that way these noodles have some flavor, all right? Now you don't necessarily need to add oil to this. All you need to do is just give this a nice little stir. So that way these don't stick to the bottom of the pot. And then we're just gonna let this go for 7 minutes, 8 at most. Because the rest of this is gonna cook while it's in the oven. You don't wanna have no gummy noodles. So you ain't gotta cook it all the way through, right? All right, now it's time to go ahead and make our cheese sauce. All right, so we're gonna start with the roux, and moment of transparency here, right? So I had the stove on for a little bit too long here, right? Because the butter's gonna brown pretty quickly, as you see. So just don't do it as long, but either way, we just took it off the eye so that way it could kind of balance out. So that's half a stick of butter and then a quarter cup of some flour. And we're gonna let those, once the butter melts on down, then we'll go ahead and get our whisk and get those to blend together, right? So your roux, in this case, it shouldn't be quite that dark, not quite that dark. Now, if you should run into that situation, as you see, just remove the pot from the eye so that way the cooking slows down and the browning of the butter slows down, right? So anyway, go ahead and whisk that butter and the flour together, and then we'll get started with making the actual cheese sauce. And next, we're gonna add in a pint of some heavy whipping cream. All right, so don't worry about the little splatters, just wipe up your stove afterwards. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and whisk the roux and the heavy whipping cream together. And after you get everything nice and incorporated, just bring everything to a boil. Then we're gonna get some jalapeno cream cheese. Make sure you leave this out for about 30 minutes to an hour, just so that way it softens up, because you want this to melt pretty easily. And for those of you that need the measurement, that's 8 ounces of the cream cheese. So our cheese from earlier, right? We're gonna go ahead and take that and use about a third to half of the cheese that we have grated. I'll add that in, then we're gonna season up our cheese sauce with either some Slappy Mama, you can use Old Bay or whatever. Season this part to taste. Now, keep in mind when we add our milk in, that is gonna water it down just a little bit. So you may over season just a tad. Then the bottle that you guys see right there, that is some seafood seasoning, which is unsalted, so you get maximum flavor without running your blood pressure up. You feel me? And then we're gonna do about 4 ounces of some sour cream. All right, so half of the container. And then we're just gonna whisk everything together. I'm gonna do 2 cups of milk. Then just go ahead and incorporate everything together, and then you will have a consistency kind of like that. So it'll be creamy, a little bit loose at this point, right? So then we're gonna combine our cheese sauce with the pasta noodles. And then while that's all going, what we're gonna do is preheat our oven to 400 degrees. So we get some bacon. Now I air fried my bacon just so I can multitask and then not have as much grease to clean up. So eventually we're gonna use the whole slab of bacon. But what we do is add just about half of it in, and then we're gonna stir everything around and get that incorporated. Now we got our cast iron skillet. Get ready to go ahead and mix everything in the cast iron skillet. This is the last part before we go ahead and bake it. Now, honestly, it don't matter if it's cast iron skillet or a baking dish. It really doesn't matter. This is for the aesthetics, to be real with you. So we'll go ahead and empty the macaroni on in, and then set your pot aside, or go ahead and wash that thing on out. So remember the rest of the cheese that we didn't use, we're going to go ahead and use that to top off the mac, okay? So go ahead and just use the rest of it up on your cutting board or whatever container you put it in, all right? Make sure the noodles are well covered with this cheese, all right? Then we're going to take our bacon bits and just add some over the top until your heart tells you that it's enough. All right, it really ain't no science to this part. Just top it around there. And these pieces are still needing to be cooked a little bit. I did that on purpose because, of course, It's going to cook in the oven, so you don't want your pieces of bacon to be burnt. Then last but not least, go ahead and top the macaroni off with some jalapeno slices. Again, however much to your liking. And, oh, before I forget, paprika. Regular paprika just for color. All right? So just hit it with a little boom, 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 boom. You know, just something simple. And then we're ready to go ahead and throw this in the oven. 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. And what you come out with is this amazing masterpiece right here. When you get the perfect blend of spicy and cheesy, just woo, oh my God, get a recipe or try it. Thanks for watching. And yes, Lord.